Hello Bookish fans, welcome to my third video of Top 5 2024 mini-series. In this video, I will talk about my least favorite books that I've read in the year 2024. Because I mostly DNF books that I really do not like. The ratings of these books are quite high, just 4 out of 10 and 5 out of 10. I can say that I've had a quite good reading year. So let's see which works that I read in 2024 were my least favorite. The second book that I finished was another Turkish book, a short novel by Barış, Bıçakçı, Sinek Isırıklarının Müellifi. This book was also translated to English as The Mosquito by the author. This book we follow Cemil, who wants to become an author and submits a novel to one of the publishers. We follow the perspective of Cemil. He waits for an answer in the span of 9 months when he's waiting for the reply for his submission. As he remembers his past, his love story with his wife Nazlı, and also his imaginary conversations with the very attractive female editor of the publishing company. I want to do a more detailed Turkish shelf video about this book. But although this book was not a favorite of mine, I still think it had a very good writing style. It would be a quite powerful book for those who really like the stream of conscious writing style method. This method of writing, as well as the lack of an exciting plot, really decreased my enjoyment level while reading this book. But to be honest, I never thought of DNFing the book, because the daily occurrences were familiar, and also, like I said before, I quite like the writing style. Overall, I gave Sinek Isırıklarının Müellifi by Barış Bıçakçı a 6 out of 10. The second very short book that I finished was Tembellik Hakkı by Paul Lafargue. This French book was translated to English as The Right to be Lazy. In this non-fiction book, written by the son-in-law of the leader of the Marxist discourse, Karl Marx, talks about the evil of working so many hours, and claims that it is a right to be lazy and just work 3 hours a day, which seems to be the ideal working hours for him. He very much criticizes actually the labor class for this one, because he thinks this class deliberately made themselves work so hard. This was a really interesting read for me. Although I agreed that the conditions in the end of 19th century were horrendous for workers, I believe in working and producing something to have a sound mind, also to have a meaningful life. And therefore, I found some of his claims to be unreasonable. He thinks that the Marxist movement would bring the right to be lazy. Seems a very big contrast to the actual implementation of the socialist movement. I gave Tembellik Hakkı, The Right to be Lazy by Paul Lafargue a 6 out of 10. And I finished the e-arc that I received from Book Sirens, which was The Algorithm Will See You Now by J.L. Lycette. This book takes place in the near future, at the end of 2030s. In this world, an algorithm titled Prima determines the fate of the patients and if they will receive treatment, especially regarding cancer, according to their survival rate. And our heroine, Hope, is a doctor that really believes in this algorithm, because using this infallible algorithm, she thinks that it would be possible to save the hopeless victims of cancer going through this very painful and devastating cancer treatment in their final days. But when Hope discovers that the algorithm is not as excellent as she thinks. She begins to question her faith in Prima. This book was quite interesting because although this book is science fiction, it is very, very likely that this thing could happen in the future. And to be honest, I did not know about many of the medical situation. So I learned a lot from this book in terms of medicine and oncology. Because the author is a oncologist, she clearly knows what she is writing about. However, I have to say I did not like her writing style. I also thought that she sometimes told what the character was feeling instead of showing us. In some scenes it annoyed me. Also, I have to say the likelihood of something's happening is very, very low. Moral theme that the author is trying to give us felt too preachy. Overall, I gave The Algorithms Will See You by J.A. Lycette a 6 out of 10. And I finished the book that I was reading with Alice at Alice and the Giant Bookshelf, which was The Man in the High Castle by Philip K. Dick. I really wanted to read original work of the TV series adaptation that I loved very, very much. And when Alice said that it was one of her books that she wanted to read in 2024, I offered to read the book with her. This book takes place in an alternative America in 1962. Slavery is legal once again. The few Jews who will survive hide under assumed names. In San Francisco, the I-Ching is as common as the Yellow Pages. All because some 20 years earlier, the United States lost a war and is now occupied by Nazi Germany and Japan. And in this environment, we follow the perspectives of many different characters, including a Jew living in an assumed name, his ex-wife, who really wants to live a good life, a Japanese minister questioning the validity of their cause, an art dealer who's selling old American items, and many more. If you want me to summarize my feelings about this book, I could do it in just 2 words. Hugely disappointed. Only thing that I liked about this reading experience was that I was bothering it with Alice, and we really had a chance to complain about the book in our messages. Other than my friendship and back and forth messages with Alice, the idea of the book is very, very interesting. However, the execution of the book is horrible, and I could never imagine a book with such an interesting concept could be written so boringly and so pointlessly. The writing style of Philip K. Dick, like some other classical sci-fi authors, was extremely dry, and also the rhythm of the sentences was very, very inconsistent. Characters were very two-dimensional, or ones that had some gray areas were actually quite confusing to understand their motives. I never thought a book under 300 pages could take so long to read, because with the exception of a couple of chapters, after finishing the chapters, I had no desire to read anymore from the book. And most importantly, my regard for the writers of the adaptation is increased a lot, because the adaptation was very, very good. All of the characters were three-dimensional and quite complex, and their contradictory natures were written so well. It was not hard to understand the contradictions they faced, which was the polar opposite of this book. My advice is, if you want to know the story, stick with the adaptation. Overall, I gave The Man in the High Castle by Philip K. Dick a 5 out of 10, just for the very interesting idea of the book. Otherwise, in regards to my enjoyment level, I would have given this book 3 out of 10. second work that I finished was the first work that I read for October, which was a short story written by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. It is actually said to be Doyle's first short story, The Mystery of Sasassa Valley. In this very short work, we hear adventures of two young men who are in South Africa trying to discover a legendary jewel. When I finished the story, I thought that my copy was incomplete. I downloaded another copy to see if the story really ended that way or not. Because I think the ending was very bad, and I could not understand the point of the story. I can clearly believe that this short story was the first work of Doyle, because he has grown significantly better at plot structure. So overall, I gave this short story my lowest rating so far, which is 4 out of 10. So those were my least favorite works that I've read in 2024. Please comment down below. Have you read any of the books that I mentioned in this video? I especially would like to know if you have read The Man in the High Castle and what do you think about the book. If you're a new viewer, first of all, welcome. Please like and subscribe. Hope to see you very soon. Bye. As for Turkish word of the day, I'm going to choose valley. Valley means vadi in Turkish, and vadi is our Turkish word of the day. Have a good day.